So what are the four different types of buying behavior? The answer is very simple. Four different type of buying behavior depends upon two variables. Variable number one is your own involvement or the buyer's involvement in terms of time, resource, money in the process of buying, and second is the difference in the brands which are available. Once again, there are two variables. One is the involvement of the buyer, and the second variable is the difference in the brands which are available in the market. So based upon this, there is a 2 by 2 matrix which I'll explain. Buying behaviors are categorized into four types. Let us understand what are these four types. So depending upon the involvement of the buyer and the significant difference between the brands, the first kind of buying behavior is what we call as complex buying behavior. In this complex buying behavior, the involvement of the buyer is very high. So the person who's buying, he's not delegating the process of buying to somebody else. He is himself involved. And even if he is delegating, he's not delegating it fully. The responsibility remains with him. He takes the final decision. And there are many brands which are available in the market. Let us take the example of of a person who wants to buy a car. A car is an expensive product. So the person who will drive the car eventually, or who will be using the car mostly, even if it is driven by a driver, that person will take the principal decision. He will be highly involved. And because there are many brands available, there is Suzuki, there is Hyundai, there is Toyota, and there is Honda, there is Nissan. There are many cars which are available, and there are many companies which offer many brands. So there are many varieties of cars which are available, and it's an expensive product. So this is called complex buying behavior. On the other hand, the buying behavior which is exhibited when the involvement of the person who's buying is high, but the difference between the brands is not so pronounced. Let me give an example. If you're buying a carpet for your house and you want to change the floor tiles, okay, so uh, your involvement is high because you are trying to do up your living room, and you don't buy carpets every month or every year. You buy it, once in a while, and the life of a carpet in an average Indian middle class family is 10 years or more. And you go to a shop, you go to buy a carpet, and you see many carpets. So there are many brands of carpets. You are not aware of them because carpet is not so much advertised in India. There are not many brands available. So you will go, you will touch and feel, you will inquire from the shopkeeper, and you will buy so that you don't have a dissonance post purchase. What is meant by dissonance? Dissonance is the discordant note in a the discord in a musical note. It should not, your decision is, you should take a correct decision. It should not happen that after you have bought, you have this in your mind that, oh, I should have bought that one was more expensive, but the carpet was thicker. Okay, so you will take a decision based upon certain parameter. Maybe you will go by the thickness or the smoothness or whatever appeals to you when you go to buy a carpet. Your involvement is high, but there is not much difference between the brands. So when you are buying a car, you were able to get input from so many sources. From the website, you could talk to some of the people. You could go to various experts and talk to them. But in this case, there are not many brands which are available, and the difference between brands is not something can be which can be noted down by a common person, okay, unless you are an expert. So this is called dissonance reducing buying behavior. Third kind of a behavior is when your involvement is very low, and when few brands are available. if you want to buy a grocery, you want to buy wheat flour, so your involvement is low. You can delegate this task to anybody else. Maybe anybody, any junior member of the family can go and buy, or maybe your house help can go and buy, your driver can go and buy it. You just tell them, go and buy Ashirwad atta, Ashirwad wheat flour, and you tell them. He says, sir, wheat, this Ashirwad is not available. Okay, what is available? Okay, Shakti Bhog is available. Okay, you can buy that. Okay, so because there is not much difference between brands, or when you buy pulses, so when you're off, I remember when I was ordering online pulses, then I would just look at the brands, but more than that, I would look at the pricing, because it's the same. There is not much difference between the brands of pulses or lentils. Okay, so involvement is low, and few differences between brands. So this is called habitual buying behavior. On the other hand, there is something called variety seeking behavior. In this, involvement is again low. If I want to buy chips, or potato chips, so but there are many brands. There is Lay's, which is an international brand, and which comes in a hardboard packaging. So there is Lay's, and then there is an Indian brand, Frito Lay, or there is a brand, Haldiram brand is there, and couple of other brands are there. So maybe I will buy a brand because I like that brand, I have been having it, or because I want to change. I'll pick up one Lay's, and I'll pick up one Haldiram, and I'll pick up one Pringle or something like that. So uh, this is variety seeking behavior, where your involvement is not much. You are not thinking much before you're buying. If you're buying soap cake, so you'll just pick up one this, one that, one this. So, and because what you are doing is you are seeking variety seeking buying behavior. If you buy soft drinks, there's a party in the house, you are buying soft drinks, you will buy a Limca, you will buy Thumbs Up, you will buy Coke, you will also buy Pepsi and Gold Spot and Sprite, and what have you. So essentially there are four types of buying behavior: complex buying behavior, as in when you're buying a car or a laptop; dissonance reducing buying behavior, as in when you're buying a carpet or the tiles for your floor; habitual buying behavior, when you're buying, let us say, groceries or something like that; and then there is variety seeking buying behavior, where I give you an example. If you're trying to buy potato chips, so these are the four types of buying behavior. Let me explain in some detail these four kinds of buying behavior. Let's first take the complex buying behavior. Consumers, they demonstrate complex buying behavior when their involvement in the purchase is high, and when they perceive that there is significant difference between the competing brands. So the purchase involvement is high when the product is costly. Number one, costly. Number two, risky. It is purchased infrequently, and also it is highly expressive. For example, buying a car, as I said, it is highly expressive thing. If you, the brand of car you drive, it speaks of you. It speaks of your own personality. Costly, risky. It is purchased infrequently. In such a situation, the consumer has much to know about the product category. So uh, the buyer or the consumer will go through a learning process that involves developing knowledge about it, which in turn will lead to developing belief about the product, developing attitudes, and you will contemplate many times before you make a final purchase. So, what is the cue to the marketers from this kind of a behavior? Marketers should, who are marketing high involvement products, they need to know the information gathering and the evaluation behavior of these high involvement consumers, and they should assist buying And they should assess the buying process or the buyer in uh, telling them about the product class attributes and their relative importance and what the company brands offers on these important attributes. So, and it is also necessary for marketers to motivate the store salesperson, for example, the salesperson inside a car showroom, and the buyers, uh, so that this they can these salespeople can also speak positively about their brand, and they can make the buyer feel favorably disposed towards their brand. The second is dissonance reducing buying behavior. Dissonance, as I explained, it's disharmony. To reduce disharmony in the process of buying. Dissonance reducing buying behavior happens when consumers are highly involved. The product is also expensive. It is also not bought very frequently. Also, it is a risky purchase. But the consumer perceives very little difference between brands. For example, when you're buying a split type air conditioner, you may face high involvement decision because an AC, especially a split AC, is costly and it is self-expressive. Self-expressive means it uh, it also expresses your own personality. So still buyers may consider air conditioners brand in a given price range to be same. Oh, there is not much difference between a Tata air conditioner and a Hitachi air conditioner and a LG air conditioner in the same price range. They all appear to be same. So your involvement is high, but the perceived brand difference, it is not very wide, or it is not much different between the competing brands. So the buyer, he wants to know what is available and he wants to take a decision, but he will not take a decision. uh, he will not take long time to take a decision. He may respond primarily to an attractive price or to purchase convenience. So he goes to a multi-brand showroom where all kind of split air conditioners are available. Suppose he goes to Reliance retail shop and there is an attractive scheme which is running on Hitachi, and the scheme is that if you pay by credit card, you get 10% or 5% off, something like that. So he will buy that. Consumers, they might experience post purchase dissonance in the form of discomfort after the sale has been made, because they may note a particular disadvantage in that purchase air conditioner. And this happens if the buyer has heard favorable things about the brand he has not purchased. So if he has purchased Hitachi and it makes a low humming noise, and somebody, he reads somewhere that the LG air conditioner is perfectly silent, may or may not be true. So there could be some post purchase dissonance. To counter such dissonance, the marketer should undertake proper after sales communication and support and help the consumer feel happy about the brand choices. Okay, because many times the more favorable thing which you hear about other brand will be a hearsay. It is very unlikely that the noise which an split air conditioner of Tata or a Hitachi or a LG, their noise levels are markedly different. It is not possible. Let me now explain habitual buying behavior. I have explained it earlier also. It happens when the consumer involvement is low and the perceived brand difference is low. I gave you the example of wheat flour. So consumers have insignificant involvement in this product category of wheat flour. Go to a store and ask for a brand. If we keep asking for the same brand, it is out of habit really, rather than a strong brand loyalty. So I have a very low involvement with most low cost products, and most importantly, frequently purchased products. So in case of habitual buying, consumer behavior does not follow any typical belief, attitude, behavior pattern. Remember, I explained to you belief, attitude, and behavior pattern. In case of the first two behaviors which we spoke of, the complex buying behavior and dissonance reducing buying behavior, the learning of a consumer is active learning. He is learning when he's making the purchase or before he's making the purchase. Not mostly in case of it's called active learning in consumer behavior. It is not a passive learning which happens in habitual buying behavior. Okay, suppose I'm just trying to explain to you what can happen in a passive learning. Suppose you have bought a new soap and you later on realize that you don't like the scent of the soap, or you don't like its aroma, but you don't bother so much. How much does a cake of soap cost? 50 rupees, that's all. And in any case, you buy two cakes of soap for your personal consumption every month. So, anyway, coming back to habitual buying behavior, the consumer does not follow the typical belief, attitude, behavior pattern. And consumers don't look for extensive information about brands. They do not evaluate brand features and make strong decisions about which brand to buy. Instead, they rather passively receive information from the media to which they are exposed. Lesson for marketer: repetitive ad, it builds brand familiarity. If repetitive advertisements, it will build brand familiarity, and not brand conviction although, but brand familiarity. As the consumer involvement is low, the consumer may not make a post purchase evaluation. Okay, you brought a wheat flour, and what all the wheat flours of the same price range are almost the same. Okay, some buyers may not be highly committed to any specific brand. So marketers of low involvement products with few brand differences, they can use price and sales promotion to encourage product trials. This is the lesson for the marketer. So if there is a low involvement, if the product is low involvement and there are few brand differences, you can do a sales promotion. Okay, like you see in case of toothpaste, if you buy 100 gram, 20 gram is free, something like that. So ads, advertisements of low involvement products should emphasize only a few key points. Visual symbols and imaginary, they should be used extensively. Ad campaigns should consist of high repetition of short duration messages. See, I'm telling you also what should the marketer do. So low involvement products, you should emphasize in your communication only few key points. Visual symbols and imaginary should be used extensively. Okay, and ad campaign should be highly repetitive and short duration messages. The last fourth, variety seeking behavior, which I explained to you earlier also. Consumer undertake this kind of a behavior when the involvement of the consumer is low, but the brand perceived brand difference is significant. In this case, consumers often do a lot of brand switching. For example, buying cookies, a consumer may hold some belief, choose a cookie brand or a biscuit brand without much evaluation, then evaluate the brand during consumption. Let me explain again. When you suppose you buy a particular brand of cookie and you hold certain belief about it, which lead your belief lead you to develop a positive attitude towards that brand, and then you purchase that brand. You don't evaluate it much, but then you evaluate it, and but the next time you may pick another brand out of boredom or try something different. I mean, brand switching occurs for the sake of variety. Brand switching occurs for a sake of variety rather than because of dissatisfaction. It's a very important point. Once again, brand switching occurs for the sake of variety rather than because of dissatisfaction. So, what is the lesson for the marketer? Variety seeking buying behavior calls for different market strategy for the market leader and the market challenger. The market leader will encourage habitual buying behavior by carrying large stocks and running frequent reminder advertising. The market challenger will encourage variety seeking by using sales promotion tools, cash discounts, special deals, coupons, free samples. Okay. In variety seeking, once again, I would like to emphasize in variety seeking buying behavior, the customer involvement is not high. The price or the cost a customer pays or a consumer pays is not high. But there are significant differences in the perception of the brand. So I have explained to you all the four uh, behaviors, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.